The Fitzpatrick brothers equal handshake. The Smith brothers, they win the Zurich Classic in an electric ending. We'll talk about all of that, plus a new club company for Justin Rose, Nelly Korda dominating, and as always on Monday, a Mulligan Monday. Plus, if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see it on my dome. We've got a special announcement. Big Drive Energy is getting some hats. We're coming up in this world. All of that next. Let's tee it up. Big Drive Energy Monday. We hit a winner. Big Drive Spence with a winner on the PGA Tour, but we also hit a winner with these hats. So if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see we've got two brand new Big Drive Energy rope hats. Shout out the folks over at Pins and Aces getting us hooked up. We're going to sell these. We don't know how yet. Mitchell didn't set us up an account on Shopify, but we're thinking maybe DM us, message us on Instagram, message us on the Twitter, message us on Facebook, Blue Sky. Just kidding. We don't have Blue Sky.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends, tell your grandmas. We only have 25 of these bad boys. 23, actually, because we're each taking one. So we got 23 of these to sell. We're going to see how they do, but we are fucking hyped. We've got the white with the black Big Drive Energy and the black bill. Once again, for those of you listening, this other one, gray with the BDE initials across it. You can wear that for golf. You can wear that going out to the bar on a Friday night to let the ladies know that you got that Big Drive Energy. You know, however you want to rock it. But these go hard as fuck. They definitely look like they have that old school look to them, which is sick. And they go hard.
That's why I picked those hats, because I like the shape of them. They fit your little baby dome too.
Yeah, I actually love that. Whenever I get a new hat, I don't typically love the feel of it. This one, for me, this is for me.
Love that for me. Love this for you. How are you doing, Pally?
I'm good. I was gonna say, let's hop into our weekend. I played golf on Friday. Pretty electric. Played a little nine-hole gallivanting, walking. I've got my old, but busted it back out, TaylorMade carry bag. That thing is fucking elite, dude. It is
the one with the mini legs.
Yeah, the mini legs, dude. I've been carrying around this fucking, shout out Pins and Aces. The bag I have is sick, but man, it's fucking huge. And I'm not a cart guy anymore. I'm a fucking walk guy. And I was fucking going back and forth. Should I walk? Should I ride?
Is that monthly bill at the country club getting a little high? You got to fucking start walking.
No, I just enjoy the 2 hours of walking. I'm a little out of breath and out of shape when I do certain things. So I'm trying to get back in golf shape. And plus it's nice, especially if somebody else is walking and it's going to be a busy tee sheet. I love walking. Like when I know I'm following people, I love to walk, because then it takes the only downside to walking is the drink scenario. That's kind of a pain in the ass. I got a Coors Light later in the round and I kind of just chugged it as I was walking, finished it in like a hole and a half, because I didn't want to keep setting it down, kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm not going the push cart route. I just can't do it. I know you're push cart savant here, but I can't go the push cart route.
Yeah, I have scoliosis, bro. Don't shame me. I've been using push carts since before they were cool. Now all these fucking super fit college kids that are squatting 400 pounds are still using push carts because they just think it's easier, which it 100% is. But my back was barking at the ripe age of 16. So a little bit of a different scenario for me. But yeah, I respect it. So let me tell you this. We used to deal with this when we worked in the pro shop, and now I actually totally understand it. I think the perfect way to go about an 18-hole round of golf is to walk the front 9 and not drink, and then ride the back 9, have a couple cocktails. It's the perfect, because walking 18 holes is a long fucking walk. Like, and I know I sound like a fat ass.
No, it's legitimately hard to, especially unless you're playing a golf course that's super flat and very much like city park style, where holes are just backing up to each other and there's not long walks between tee boxes and greens. It's pretty demanding, and Inverness is a fairly demanding walk, especially like the first hole. You're like, oh, this is easy, and then you go down the hill and up the hill on 2, and you go way down the hill on 3, and then you go back up it on 4, and then you go back up it on 5, and then down it on 6, and down it on 7, back up straight up the hill on 8. It's like I'm fucking huffing and puffing, but I think it's definitely good for me. And especially when there's days where I don't get to work out, I'm like, okay, well, if I walk 9 holes, a 2-hour walk, hour, 40-minute walk, whatever it is, I feel better about my day. But going back to your talking about driving the member bill up too high. So the guy I played with, this guy was a legend. He is an engineer or a software engineer for Lockheed Martin. Wouldn't think it by just hanging out with him, but 3 years into golf. And when he played with us, me and this old guy, Fred, that I just got paired up with, I am getting so out of my shell and playing with other people and just being friends with them and like talking.
That's great, dude. That's the point.
Yeah. You'd be so proud of me if you ever like were a fly on my shoulder when I'm playing these rounds of golf. But this guy rolls up, and I was supposed to play with Brandon and Jim Woolard. They bailed last minute. They said, hey, we got family dinner. Like, fuckers, bailed. But so this guy books a tee time like 10 minutes before our tee time, and he comes to the first hole off of 18. So he had already walked a full 18er, and he comes to the first hole. He's playing 27. He's like, I'm a fucking addict. Dude's been playing golf for 3 years, and he had to tell me this multiple times, but he shot 81 his first round of the day. And he's like, last year I struggled to break 100. I was just happy if I broke 90. And he's like, I played my best round ever today, 81, and I'm going to keep it going. And dude was a legend. He ordered 3 different times. We saw the cart girl. He ordered 3 different double margaritas. That was what he was drinking. And to tie this all into the story about the bill getting too high, I was waiting to go pick up my boy after the round. So I was sitting in the clubhouse talking with him for a second. He was just having me meet everybody, because he's in the know at Inverness. Let's put it that way. He's like got a bunch of friends and got a bunch of people. He says like, we're sitting by the bar, and he's like pointing this guy out, and meet this guy. This is Spencer. I'm trying to get,
and you've been a member there as long as him, and he knows everyone. And you
literally
know, like 5 people.
We got our memberships 2 weeks apart. So I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to meet more people. I'm just trying to, gain friends here. But he goes, dude, yeah, like he was like, my wife, he was telling me about his wife's trip to see this fucking K-pop band, it's my WTF Wednesday, so we'll save it for that. But he's telling me about his bill, and our member dues are $400 or $500 a month, right around there, pretty inexpensive compared to some of these other clubs. And he's like, yeah, my wife, she sees the credit card bills, and the first couple of months I was fucking spending $1,800, $1,900 out here a month. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, what the fuck were you doing? And he's like, dude, these double margs are 18 beans. And he ran his bill up to like 2 G's, just because I was like, yeah, dude, it can be sometimes a problem when you can just say, put it on my tab. That becomes a big issue.
Yeah. That member number can get the work. Yeah. That's like a borderline house payment. And that's where, the initiation, obviously, for a lot of places is a big chunk. But then if you're spending $2,000 a month, this is one thing that will just forever blow my mind, is when somebody's a member in 2 different places. And it's kind of like my ultimate dream. Like when you have a winter place and a summer place, and you're a member at 2 places, and you're spending money every month at a place that you never step foot on. Like, that shit fires me up. Is there like, I would want to go into the shop and be like, is there any way we can like turn this off? Cause I'm literally not going to be in this state for these amount of months. And I don't know if they work it some way, like not a seasonal thing, but like for snowbirds, or for, if you're not a year round player, then I don't know if you pay year round dues regardless or whatever. But yeah, that would fucking heat me right up if I was, oh, here's $800 to $1,200 a month here just for nothing. Here's $1,200 a month here for nothing. And then you come back and you're getting charged cart fees and all your cocktails, all that shit. But how'd you play on Friday? Because I also played Friday, so we can discuss.
I hit it really well, and we'll get into this on our recap or update of 26 predictions for 2026 because I failed on one of mine that was personal, and I've already switched putters a couple of times. But I went to the storage unit after my last round, so not this past Friday, but I think I played on Tuesday as well. I went to our storage unit and I got out all of my old putters, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. I don't even know how many there were. And I just threw them in the back of my car because we're also looking for a putter for our back deck because my son loves to putt back there, and it's hell putting with a 1.5 foot long plastic putter if you're trying to get some work in on the practice putting green in our backyard. So I brought the old Ping Zing that I found at a garage sale, put that in the backyard, but have the other 8 putters in my trunk, and just going to switch them out every round or find something that sticks. And I found something that stuck. I've been talking to my fucking toddler too much. I win.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I busted out your old Odyssey 11, no line on it, which is kind of helpful. It's like a bigger spaceship looking deal, super short, but it doesn't have a line going down the back of it.
Isn't it like a big half circle basically?
Kind of. It's got a little
I could have sworn it has a line on it, bro. You'll have to send me a picture of it.
It looks a little spidery. You want to filibuster for a second, and I'll see if I can pull it up on the screen.
Oh my God. Well, you're talking about your putter. Yeah. Speaking of putter switches, I might already be ready to go back to my old putter. I've actually been putting relatively well. Like a lot of the greens out here we've been playing have been punched. So pretty hard to get a good idea of how well you're putting on punched greens. Like, so I actually just got done playing about a half hour ago as well. And I actually hit the ball pretty fucking good. I think I ended up shooting like 1 over or something like that. But I just keep having these few mistakes here and there. It's just kind of beginning of the year, shit happens, but I've been hitting the ball really well. And this is without the new driver. So I just cannot wait to get that new driver and see just the difference in yardage and kind of what it adds to my game. So
this bad boy.
Oh, great shit. Photo, I forgot I had that.
Yeah.
That's 100% a Spider.
No, it's it's called the 11. I don't know what, it's just found it and rolled with it, and I rolled it pretty good. And ironically, so I made some silly mistakes, and Greg's inviting you for some golf on May 8th. So that's good for you guys. Enjoy that. And on the East Coast. But I made 2 birdie putts the whole round. One of them on 9, which was a shorter birdie putt. And then one of them on 6, which was probably 15, 20 feet 4, kind of banged it in the back. But I was joking with these guys because they, I try not to tell people, I don't flop my dick out on the first tee and say, oh, I'm a former PGA pro, blah, blah, blah. I just play golf. I try to just keep a low profile about that. And the one guy actually found out I was PGA. I didn't mention it, but we were sitting on the 4th tee. We was playing pretty slow. And he starts looking me up on gin. He's like, do you not have your gin in Colorado or what? And I'm like, no, I don't have one at all. I pretty much scratch and blah, blah. I told him the story. I have a facade as a scratch. I wear a scratch mask, but behind it, it's a true, like, good 6.
You're a scratch.
But the one putt I made on 4, I was putting kind of like ass on the first 3 holes. No shocker there. I missed like a fucking 6-footer for birdie on 1. I made a mess of 2, almost rolled it in from like 60 feet on 3. But on 4, we were talking with them. These guys are both members. And I'm like, dude, you guys, like, I just can't read the greens. Like, it's tough. And this guy's a 12. And he's like, oh, I feel like I got a pretty good idea on this. I'm like, okay, well then come over here and fucking read this 25-footer for me. And he reads it for me. And I actually set my putter down. He goes, a little left. And I fucking knock it in. And then I was joking with him that he was going to have to caddy for me and whatnot. And then we get to 9, and the other guy, Fred, who your kind of guy. When we saw the Bev cart, he was a double Tito's and cranberry. So
double Tito's and vodka. Hell
double
yeah.
Tito's and vodka and cran. But he on 9, one of the putts I read on 7, he was like, how the fuck did you read that? Like, he's like, everything breaks away from the hotel's highest spot on the golf course. And I know that's kind of a facade, but I was like, all right, I'm going to start at least keeping that in mind. Right.
No, that's kind of a true thing. I mean, that's the general lay of the land.
Yeah. So on 9, one thing hilarious that I'm actually getting better at with golf too, if we're talking golf here. So on 9, the pins tucked way back.
Golf here, like we're not on a fucking golf podcast.
No, yeah, but we usually spend the first 30 minutes fucking circle jerking.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to get ready. You're gonna have to finish up on this play-by-play here. You're giving us the full Monty.
I'm almost done, but I will say on 9, I have like 125 in, whatever. I'm in the rough, and the pin's tucked way back left behind that bunker. And I'm like, all right, dude, be smart. This is where you get better at golf. You be smart. You hit it to the middle of the green. I fucking aim for the middle of the green. I fucking pull it a little bit, 7 feet for birdie. And then old Fred comes in and goes, he's like, where are you aiming this? He just out of nowhere asked me where I was aiming the putt. And I was like, I got it right here. He's like, hey, go over this right here. Fucking, he's like, and die it in. And I bang it in for birdie, shoot even par on the 9er, and I was pretty pumped about it. But ironically, the only 2 birdie putts I made were read by my 12 and 10 playing competitors.
Yeah, you know that you struggle on the greens when you got just a couple of random old dudes being like, "Let me read this for you." Like, I think they saw.
I think they saw how good I was fucking hitting it, and they're like, "This kid needs some help on the greens."
Yeah, you're like, "Are you over par?" And you're fucking you just keep stuffing it and missing 5-footers. Well, I can relate because on Friday I shot 76 and I hit it so fucking good. But I played these greens. I played North Jersey Country Club, which are some of the craziest greens I've ever played in my life. Like, you think of the toughest green that you've played, Spencer, or the toughest green on Inverness. What would you say? That's probably 18 is tough. Like a 3-tiered, kind of crazy breaks.
8. I think 8's pretty tough.
8, yes, similar to that. Okay, so take those greens and take Inverness's greens and multiply the undulation by like 3. The ridges in the basically the humps protecting the sides of the greens are like 6 to 7 feet tall. So, and they're straight sloped. Like if you miss the green by 2 feet right, it's going to be 30 yards right of the green. Like it is just one of those courses where you have to hit it in the right spot. Not super, super challenging tee to green, but it's like around the greens are just it's brutal. So long story short, I was 1 under through 4 holes. The next hole, I'm next to the green in 2. I chip it 3 times because it rolls back to my feet twice. I try to get cute. I'm short side.
Gave it the old Scotty chef.
Yep, rolls right back to my fucking feet twice. And so then I get it up and down the 3rd time for double. And then I 3-putt the next 2 holes. So I was 4 over right there in those 3 holes. And other than that, I almost made an ace. I almost flew one right in the can from like 152. Landed like 4 or 5 inches from the hole. I did make a deuce there. But overall, like my ball striking, I would say, has been pretty fucking good. And now I'm just waiting for like this new driver to come in and hopefully give me that much more distance. And then as long as I'm hitting it just as accurate, because today I think I ended up shooting 73 or 74, but the greens were punched. Like I didn't putt like well at all. And I still hit the ball really well. So the game feels good. I might be switching putters again. I'm not sure. I'm also thinking about getting a new 3-wood. I have a couple of, I'm going through an equipment change and also head covers. I've switched head covers, which is actually honestly feels bigger than switching clubs. Like when was the last time? So I inspired you to get a new head cover for your country club. But when was the last time before that you switched head covers?
I don't know. I honestly probably haven't switched in 3 or 4 years. I guess I did. I switched my hybrid head cover out, but I haven't switched my driver head cover in 5 or 6 years. In my 3-wood head cover, I just got a 3-wood last year and have put the 1 head cover on it and haven't switched it. So not too much switching going on for me either, but I know what you mean. I legitimately have PTSD is not the right term, anxiety over switching my head covers. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how you feel. You're like, you just got to do it. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off, put a new one on, and be good to go.
Yeah, no, because I got a new one from the course that I teach at, which is fire from the Rose. Absolutely perfect driver head cover. And then I got a new Broncos one that I don't think I've talked about on the pod. Actually, I'm going to give this website a free shout out because I feel like they need better advertising. I was just Googling it one morning, like trying to find Broncos, Nuggets head covers, things like that. So I think it's called Patch JPM or JDM.com. One of those two. But if you just kind of Google like sports head covers, I feel like they've kind of promoted there, but basically they take old jerseys and they upcycle them into head covers. So my new 3-wood head cover is an old Broncos jersey with the Broncos logo on the back of it. It's fucking sick. I'm like, this person is a genius. I wish I would have thought of this. So I will say though, my only problem is I kind of like when they color coordinate to some extent, not fully color coordinate, but I've just got a random blue and orange one amongst a gray and black bag, a black driver head cover, and then a black putter head cover. So I might switch it up a little bit here and there. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm just ready for the switch. I've got 2 new Adele wedges coming in. I told you about this, right?
Yeah. You got some new from the company you work for. They're hooking you up. You did a little fitting, right? Or is that with the driver only?
That was the driving iron, but I'm getting the old school Nuggets logo etched on the back of the sand wedge, and then the old school Broncos logo on the back of the 60 degree. So
that'll be gas.
These wedges are going to look fire.
Dude, I maybe should take this offline and shouldn't say this on our worldwidely watched podcast, but I had an idea for head covers. What do you think about this? You treat them, you sell them, and you treat them like a laptop cover, and you sell them as like they're clear and they're like a clear plastic, almost like, you know, you'd see on things that go over the bags, and you let people put stickers on them. All the stickers that you want. Do you think that would be, you think that's a good idea? I kind of think that's a good idea.
The only tough thing is like the stickers aren't going to lay flat and they're probably going to get crumpled up and they're not going to stay very well, especially if they're not waterproof. I kind of, maybe if you could make like a layer in between where you could slide things up into it, like stickers inside of it. Okay. Or I don't know. We could be, I mean, I don't hate your idea. We could be onto something where you could kind of just, because then you could change it whenever you wanted type of thing.
Correct. That's exactly what I'm thinking is you have, you know, you sell somebody a driver 3-wood hybrid and putter. I mean, that's just my configuration.
You could create like skins for it, basically like a different, like,
right.
You don't have to buy a whole new head cover. You can just get a different like thing for it.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I literally thought about that when I was walking on the range the other day. I was like, I think, because it'd be fun to have, you know, I love having my Inverness head cover or my Nuggets 3-wood. That's a basketball that I found on eBay. That's gas.
That one's funny.
But I don't like to change them, but I would also like to sometimes rep the Avs or sometimes rep the Bronco. You know what I mean? Like, and like Greg's saying, cutouts for like ball markers or poker chips from courses, people would eat that shit up. And then you get to rep, you know, you get to rep multiple different things. If you're a big brewery guy and you like brewery stickers, you can rep the breweries. You can, you know, buy stickers for your team. But then I would envision this going big enough to where you get licensing, you know, and you make, because you wouldn't just be able to put a regular sticker on it. You'd have to put some sort of really high end sticker. And so then you start selling the sticker packs and have companies like, this is a genius idea. I'm fucking taking this to Shark Tank. I got to get some prototypes going. I got to figure out how to dial this in, because think about it. Like, people buy a lot of head covers, and granted, you may only sell one of these per person and you can't sell multiple, but I don't know if everybody feels the same way I do. Greg, let us know in the comments what you think. But in terms of, do you switch your head covers out? Like, once I put a head cover on, it's staying on for a long time. It's going to take something really sick for me to switch that out. Or if it's one of my team head covers and the team sucks absolute eggs, I might switch that out for a different, seasons, if you will. Sometimes I think I have a Hawkeyes 3-wood cover that I'll put on in the fall, or Broncos, whatever. But I feel like we're getting too deep into this. I just have a good idea, and I want that idea to come to life.
No, that's fair. I do like where your head's at. You're along the right track. We just have no sort of skills to try to put this thing into motion, unfortunately. So I'm great at thinking of things, but when it comes to logistics, it's just out the window, unfortunately. I would be, and even changing, Greg says change your head cover twice a year at best. Like, I haven't changed head covers in 3 or 4 years at least. And that's even hard to do. I don't know. I get very sentimental with my head covers. It's just something you look down and you're so used to seeing. I switched away from Barry the Banana. Wait, let me grab him.
Barry the Banana is gone. This has been Mitchell's head cover since he was 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, so I've sewn him up. Look how shredded he is. I've sewn him so many times. I've sewn his ass together. He's had his balloon knot falling out. I was
gonna say he's had his back blown out a few times. His fucking head blown off.
He's gotten shredded. Like, he's kind of lost an eye too. Yeah, I've legitimately had this head cover on my 3-wood since I was 15 or 16. So this head cover has lasted me almost 20 years. Jesus Christ, Greg. He said it probably smells like a jizz sock. It does not. I have not done anything nasty to this. I have. Now, honesty hour, I should probably keep this offline. Have you ever had to do this before? And this was some high school shit. One time I was having a bad day, like in the stomach department, and I think I was on the golf course and I kind of sharted, like I farted, and it was a little shark came out, and I used my golf towel to wipe my ass. And
did you keep it on your bag after that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I kind of just put it under for that day, and then I washed it. What was I supposed to do? Throw it out?
Throw it away? Probably.
No, dude, I've puked in hats and like cleaned them out. I've puked on my, I'm not getting rid of that shit. It was my high school golf towel. But I also think in high school that I had like 3 towels at the time. Remember, it was like cool to carry a bunch of towels. So I think I picked like my worst one and just wiped my ass with it. Oh, Greg keeps fucking cracking us up in the comments. Yeah, I've thrown. Well, I don't know if I've actually thrown up on the golf course before. Have you?
I don't think on the golf course. I just remember a dude at the bachelor party I went to last May, just laying on the first tee at Wolf Creek, laying on his side, just puking next to him. He spent the next 2 days on a fucking respirator back at the Airbnb and didn't even play golf. Or a CPAP machine. Fucking hilarious.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, luckily that's probably the worst thing I've done to a golf towel or golf head cover. So, but yes, Barry, I'm honestly thinking about letting Barry make my gambling picks, since my record is so bad right now that they're no longer mine, they're Barry's. So he's 0-0.
Okay, Barry so we should change the graphic to Barry and put Mitch, formerly negative fucking 28 units or whatever you're going to be. Daddy's back in the black after the Fitzpatrick brothers came through.
That was well done. But yeah, I'm honestly thinking about letting Barry make my gambling picks for me. So I figured he could kind of be a part of the podcast in some way or the other, because he's been such a big part of my golfing life for since I was a teenager. So got to give him a little run on the old pod if he's not going to be on my bag. But
I love that.
I think he'll start making my gambling picks for me going forward.
Okay, Barry in, Migs out. Let's get to some of the topics for the pod today. So let's start with this. So I'm going to bring up our 26 predictions for 2026. I've not made a hole-in-one yet, unfortunately. Scoot your head over so it looks good in the screen.
Okay.
I'm dialing in. There you go. Still don't have any top 10 finishers on the DP World Tour winning PGA Tour events. Number 3, that's the one that I just need to cross out. I'm not kept one putter all season. I've gone away from the Jailbird into my aunt's old Scotty Cameron, which I putted like even worse than noticeably worse, which is insane for me to putt noticeably worse than I've putted before. It's just a small old blade, impossible to putt with. 2 first-time major winners. The Masters, obviously Rory going back to back didn't help me out in that category. Boys win Inverness Membagest. That is to be determined. Bryson winning a major. We both have that. Tiger starts and doesn't finish an event. I just don't think I don't think he's going to start it.
I think he's in some overseas rehab currently. So,
Scotty winning no majors, 0 for 1. Got 3 more left. Live Golf signs a top 50 player. We talked about that. That's kind of a shit show, but I think I kind of hit that as well with Patrick Reed basically quitting on Live. Ludwig Gobert winning a major. Tommy Fleetwood 3 wins plus a major, and I realized all these contradict each other a little bit. Like Ludwig Gobert wins a major, so does Tommy Fleetwood, so does Bryson, but we have 2 first-time major winners. So I guess no, Tommy, that could happen. It can't happen anymore. All of them can't be right because Tommy would have to win a major, and then there would have to be another first-time winner. So I'm out on that. And then Phil running for public office, just up in the air. There's some crazy shit happening around.
Well, yeah, Phil has been. We haven't really talked about this on the pod, but Phil has been out with some sort of family emergency health thing, but it doesn't. Nobody really knows what's going on. At least as far as I've heard, nothing has come out. So I don't know if he's just kind of stepped away from Live and or it's actually a legitimate thing. I don't know. I mean, I obviously enjoy Phil Mickelson, but we haven't really heard much from him as of late. So, also we have to talk about Jim Furyk being named the Ryder Cup captain again. We've kind of forgot about that because it's so 3 days ago or a week ago, but what a fucking travesty. So I'll go through mine real quick. I'm just going to go through the ones that I feel like they look good. So Liv already lost a big name. They're going to continue to do that. Brooks Koepka called that before it happened, 2 weeks before it happened. Marco Penge has given it a run. I feel like he's still got some leeway. He'll probably win the fucking Barracuda or some lower level event. I don't know if I'm going to join a country club. I'm still vacillating on that. I just can't figure it out. Victor Hovland has already changed swing coaches again, so nailed it. Tom Kim, terrible. I think he's 140th in the world. I think he's borderline going to be back on the Korn Ferry Tour. Nelly Korda returns to dominance. That was another one of the ones that kind of got my your stinger up
brain. Yeah, my stinger up on why we should recap this or go through an update on this, because Nelly Korda, as we'll talk about in a little bit, won the major this past weekend, the Chevron. She was one of 3 players all time since 1980 to win a major and have a 2-shot lead after every single round and win wire to wire. So Nelly Korda is officially dominant again. You can cross that one off the list.
Yeah, she's all the way back. And then the rest of them getting in better shape. I'm kind of on track for that. Remains to be seen. Sticks with putter change all year? Probably not. I'm already vacillating. I'm already thinking about it. And then Andrew Novak wins an event. I still think he's going to do that. He had a good week at Sea Island. No, not Sea Island. I always fucking do this. Harbor Town. He had a great week at Harbor Town. That's his honey hole. But yeah, I feel like we're kind of on pretty good track to cover some of these bases. We're not complete idiots. I mean, that kind of remains to be seen, but we can occasionally get something right here and there. So that feels good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of getting something right, let's dive into the Zurich Classic this past weekend and what an electric team tournament that was. I mean, obviously it was extra exciting for me to hit my first winner of the year, the Fitzpatrick brothers. Yes, it's a favorite. No, I do not care, at plus 1,200. And then also hitting Billy Horschel and Tom Hoagie to finish in the top 10 at plus 350. So my units are officially in the black for this season. I've made it back to the black, to the promised land. But man, what an electric tournament. And we kind of talked about it on Sunday. The dichotomy of the relationship, obviously brothers, Matt Fitzpatrick and Alex, but the way that Alex has not really played a ton of PGA Tour events. He's been kind of better on the DP World Tour, won a DP World Tour event this year, of course, but he stood a lot to gain from this weekend. And Matt Fitzpatrick, coming off of a win of a signature event, obviously he was like, doing this for his brother essentially, and doing this to be able to play with him and play together. And they've given it a run in the past and gotten pretty close, but cool to see them win and in the fashion that they won, because the 18th hole, the 72nd hole of the tournament, well, first of all, on Sunday, they were up by 4 shots. And I was like, you know what? I've got to turn this on. I can't jinx them, but I've got to turn this on and watch it. I was quad boxing the hell out of my TV. This is such an elite time for sports. You got playoffs in both leagues. You got baseball, which I enjoy watching. You got golf tournaments. Like, it's everything right now to do the quad box on the weekend. But they were at 33 under par. The next closest dudes were at 29. They proceed to make double. Then the next hole, which was the birdieistable hole, the most easily birdied hole of the
birdieable-ist.
Most birdieable-ist hole on number 13. And Alex puts Matt 104 yards out in the fairway. Matt proceeds to fucking hit it 30 yards over the green. Like, I was like, okay, guys, you got a one. They were at 31. Another team got to 30. I was like, all right, let's fucking put your foot on the throat here and win this thing. Matt hits it fucking 30 yards over the green. And little brother, reminding me of you, Alex, just whips out this flop shot that was pure bliss. If you're watching that as an amateur, don't watch it too much, because you should never try that. But the golf shot he hit, I thought he was going to have to go low. And you would think that, European guy from England, they'd be more apt to bump and run that shit to the back pin. No, he just fucking hoists it. He gets a drop from the cameras, hoists it up in the air to a foot. They tap in. Then they proceed to make another bogey. And they're all of a sudden tied for the lead. Going into 18, tied for the lead. They need to make birdie, par 5. Everybody been birdieing it all day. Horschel and Hoagie eagled it to send themselves into the top 10, which was electric for me. But Matt just steps up, bombs a drive. Alex has got his PGA Tour card in his hands, essentially. He hits the green, they 2-putt, they win. He gets a PGA Tour card and all these exemptions, which I'll go through. But he hits it in the bunker, and it's a long bunker shot. And we know how 20 to 30-yard bunker shots are. I mean, PGA Tour pros are the best in the world. But you're still thinking, all right, Alex is going to have a 10-footer for his PGA Tour card. And what does fucking Matt Fitzpatrick do? He hits it to a goddamn foot. And his brother gets to tap in, earns his PGA Tour card through 2028, an exemption to the PGA Championship, the Cadillac Championship this weekend, the Truist, I always fuck that up, Memorial, and Travelers, and the 2027 Players. And just like, I was riding a high that day because the Avs were winning. The Rockies ended up sweeping the Mets at the same time all this is going on. And then they win that in that fashion. And it was just so cool to see.
Yeah. Oh, dude, unbelievable win by them. And let's backtrack one round, because do you remember what they shot on Saturday?
Didn't they shoot like 62 or something?
They shot 57 in a best
ball.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right.
The reason they were boat racing everybody is because they fired a fucking 57 in a best ball. Like, that's a PGA Tour golf course. Like, that's 2 dudes basically each shooting probably 64 on their own ball. Like, absolutely insane for them to go out and fucking do that. I think Alex had 10 birdies in the 2 best ball days.
I got this. So the only holes they parred were 3, 4, and 9. 3, 4, 9, and 13. Once again, that easy par 4 that they somehow made that was their kryptonite, apparently, because they couldn't hit close golf shots. But yeah, birdied 1, 2. Matt birdied 5, 6, eagled 7. Alex birdies 8. Alex birdies 10, 11. Matt birdies 12. They par 13. Matt birdies 14, 15. Alex birdies 16, 17, 18. Just fucking elite. 57. That's like a 4-man scramble. Okay, here's a question for you. 4-man scramble of low single digit handicaps on this golf course with
Legit.
their tees. Do they shoot 57?
No, I don't think so. I think they probably shoot low 60s, high 50s, but yeah, two guys best balling a 57. And just when you think about in general, like they wanted it 30 under, 30
31. They birdied 18 to
31.
go to
Okay,
31.
so they basically got half of their
15 under in one day.
Yeah, I mean 15 under in one day, and they shoot 31 under overall. And also shout out, I forget who it was. I think it was Christopher Wrighton and or Chris Ventura and his partner, the Swedish team. I don't even know if there's
Chris Ventura. Yep.
Okay.
Well, if you look at the leaderboard, the guys that were standing to go into a playoff, Christopher Wrighton, Chris Ventura, and then the team of Alex Smalley, Hayden Springer.
Yeah.
Like 4 guys that, like Alex, obviously Matt's fine, but that's what's fun about this tournament is there's 6 guys up there, 5 of them fighting to keep a tour card.
Yeah. For sure. No, it can be a big week for all, like both teammates in this, but Wrighton and Ventura shot 7 under on the alternate shot on Sunday. Like that's fucking crazy. And that, I mean, just these scores, even as a 2-man team, and I kind of want to talk about this with Nelly Korda as well a little bit later, but it just goes to show you like truly how good these guys are. On a PGA Tour setup, they're firing 31 under for 2 days of best ball. And by the way, I fucked up. I thought one day was a scramble. I'm an idiot. Why would I ever think that the PGA Tour would play a scramble? So yeah, that's hand up on me. But 2 days alternate shot, 2 days best ball. They're just averaging a cool, basically 8 under par per day between two best ball rounds, 2 alternate shot rounds. So yeah, that's just fucking insane to think of. And it was funny too, because you could kind of tell like Alex and Matt were kind of pissed at each other. They weren't playing well on Sunday. So there was definitely a dynamic where Matt was just actually, funny enough, on the approach shot that Alex hit on 17, Matt wasn't even looking at the ball. He was just looking directly at Alex because he knew how good the shot was just simply based off his reaction. And I thought that was more like telling than anything, that they're such close brothers that he doesn't even need to look at the ball. He can just look at how Alex reacts and know exactly where the fuck it went. But they were almost playing, I think it was more on Matt's part. I think Alex was kind of leaving him alone because he could tell that Matt was getting fucking a little steamed, possibly at himself, but probably at him too. And so they weren't even walking together a lot of the time. They were just, I almost think they were treating it as if like, okay, Alex tees off and Matt gets up and he's like, okay, this is where I hit my tee shot. And this is my second shot. It's just, I think maybe a change of mindset a little bit. Whereas alternate shot is just generally so hard playing somebody else's ball. Like not hitting the tee shot, and it's hard to get in a groove when you're only hitting half the shots on every hole. But yeah, they ham and egg the shit out of it. Matt hit some phenomenal shots down the stretch. Alex obviously hit some phenomenal shots. And then that bunker shot, because right when he hit it, I go, oh my God, he caught it thin. I thought he thinned it because it came out hot as fuck. I mean, it was like a 35 yard bunker shot probably, to get it all the way to the hole. And it just 2 hops and stops right next to it. Like, that is the best gift you could give your brother ever. My buddy Jeff Collins was texting me. He goes, he's not going to fucking be getting him any Christmas or birthday presents this year. Like, I and obviously Alex contributed, but just for Matt to serve that up on a silver platter, because I thought for sure Alex was going to have like 10 to 12 feet and just be like 10 feet for a tour card. How many times have you fucking played that scenario over in your head on the putting green as an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old, you know? So awesome weekend for them, man. Like that is, and it'll be fun to just see Alex out on tour. Like he's played well on the DP World Tour, and he's clearly ready to get out there. He might have some hiccups here and there, but he's just a fun personality. And the last thing on the brothers, I just love how opposite they are. And I think I mentioned this last week on Wednesday, just they don't even look even close to the same. But then they get off the putting green and they're both like, where's dad? Like, how cool does that have to be? Like, their mom's there, their dad is there just to celebrate with them. Like, truly a cool family win.
Yeah, exactly. And Matt's expecting a kid. He won back-to-back PGA Tour events for the first time since Scotty Scheffler had done it, I believe, 2 years ago. Became the first PGA Tour player to do that in a while. So shout out to the Fitzpatrick brothers. You know, what a fucking weekend. It's just awesome to see the dynamic of that tournament. And I think that event, granted, I'm definitely biased, like I said, because I bet on the Fitzpatricks, but I think that for a team event, if you will, that kind of gets pushed to the side, right, between some signature events and squished between the Masters and the PGA Championship, I think that was about as good cinema and TV as they could, with a bunch of quote unquote no names at the top of the leaderboard, as the PGA Tour could have had. So the PGA Tour stays winning as we're drowning in the pool of live right now and what all the questions to be asked about what the future of the league is, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get up to talk real quick about Nelly Korda. Shout out to her. She won the women's major, the Chevron, and dominant fashion, like I said earlier, becomes one of 3 players since 1980 to go wire to wire to major and lead every round by more than 2 shots. She just, when she's Rory-like in the terms of when she's on her game, I don't think there's a lot of people there's not a lot of women, maybe if none women, I guess, on the PGA Tour that, or the LPGA Tour, I should say, that can match her level.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. And you sent me a comparison of Scotty and Nelly, and it's actually pretty fucking close. Similar majors, similar wins at their age. Because are Scotty and Nelly the same age? Scotty is just turning 30, I think, this year, and Nelly's got to be younger.
She got the Chevron robe.
Yes,
after she jumped in the pond.
So Nelly's 27. She was born July 28th, 1998. What do you think Nelly's listed at height-wise?
5'10".
Did you know that, or was that an actual guess?
No, that was a legit guess.
You were correct. She is 5'10". I do not want to read the other things that popped up on Googling Nelly Korda because it's inappropriate. She is really fucking good, man. And that is, I'm really happy because it feels like, in all honesty, American people, unfortunately, aren't, if we don't have a dominant American woman, then you can kind of check out on the LPGA. Like, we really don't have that many other names. I mean, if you look at that leaderboard, I think the next 6 women behind Nelly were all of Asian descent. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just I can't really pronounce their names. So, and it's probably on me for not.
Patty Tavatanakit.
Okay.
Yeah, you got USA, and then Thailand, China, Korea, Australia, England, and then finally Lottie Wode, T7 from England. And then you finally get to another American. So, yeah, you're exactly right. She's the one dominant force in a pool of non-Americans that continue to kind of dominate the LPGA Tour. Unless she's on her game, then she wins a major by 5 shots.
Yeah, well, and the other thing I wanted to talk about with this tournament is, did you see the yardage that they played it from?
I did not know.
They played it from over 6,800 yards. Like, this is where everyone's argument about, oh, I'm a 3 handicap, I could beat the women. Nelly fired 18 under par at a major championship. So not easy conditions. I know it was pretty wet because there was a lot of rain, but 18 under par from 6,800 yards at beneath sea level in Houston. That's really fucking good golf. Like, there's not +4 or 5 handicaps that are men that could go shoot that from, 6,800 yards. So I think, that kind of shut a lot of dudes up being like, I could beat an LPGA Tour player. And Nelly isn't even that long necessarily. She's relatively long for the women's game, but not like the longest person out there. You know what else is sad is I think on my best day, my ball speed is about like Nelly's best ball speed. So that's kind of a bummer for me, or just good for her, depending on how you look at it. Nelly hits it as far as I do. But she just hits it way fucking better, is better at everything else. And And I'm just very happy for her. She had a down year last year, and I feel like she's kind of back now.
Oh yeah, all the way back according to your 2026 predictions. A few other things we wanted to get into before we wrap this episode of Big Drive Energy up and do a Mulligan Monday, as we do at the end of every Monday episode. Justin Rose, in the middle of the season, is going to McLaren golf clubs. I've got for those of you watching on the YouTube here, these are what his irons look like. And I mean, it's sick, right? And I saw a tweet that somebody said McLaren golf clubs are going to take over the market of ultra rich 12 handicaps from PXG. And I thought that was hilarious because
Bob Parsons is probably fucking shaking his fist in the air being like, you took away all my really wealthy fucking hacks from me.
Well, what do you think? So I have a Justin Rose PGA championship bet because it's at Aronimink and he's won there before and he's kind of had a resurgent past 2 years and he feels like he's near the top of the leaderboard every single major. Do you think base level that this is an insane decision to switch clubs in the middle of a PGA Tour season when you have a couple majors coming up?
I mean, yes, I would say it is, considering how well he's been playing, considering he has only had one major championship. And would you compare this like Nikola Jokic winning one NBA title in his career, which we won't even get into right now, to Justin Rose winning only one major? Because it feels like Rosie should have maybe 3 or 4 of them, and it could end up knocking him down on the all-time great list when it's all said and done. But it is a pretty wild move that you're so dialed in right now, having another chance to win a major here in a couple weeks, and you're switching clubs 2 weeks beforehand. And plus, like, he's going for Mira, which is known as one of the best iron makers in the world. Not a huge, well-known name, but just truly one of the best clubs, I can personally attest, in the entire world, to going to a car company that is somehow putting together a set for him. And I can honestly say they don't look great to me. Like, I am not, I don't love the look. I don't know what you think, but I don't think the look of them is that great. They kind of got a honeycomb thing on the back. The head looks fat. It kind of looks like a thicker, like, look at that top line. The top line looks a little thick. I guess the longer irons look better. But yeah, they just look a little cheesy and corny. They look like something you could buy at Walmart. So I don't think they're going to love that, but it's a very, very interesting move. Although I will say that Rosie wouldn't be putting them in the bag if they hadn't been extensively tested. And they're probably basically a prototype for exactly what he wants. So at the end of the day, you got to trust his judgment. But I definitely question the decision. Just this early, like, that's off-season shit. Like, why are you dropping this second week or first week of May before another major? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, pretty wild. All right, well, let's wrap this Monday up with a Mulligan Monday on this week of Big Drive Energy. Mulligan Monday. Of course, that's something we do during the week that we wish we could have back. We wish we could have a redo on. And I'll start. Mine was just a very Monday thing for me this morning. And my Mulligan Monday's fresh from about 7 hours ago. I forgot my phone going to the gym. Ooh. I woke up this morning, got my headphones in my pocket, got my keys, got my Apple Watch on, started my car with my phone because it's a little chilly here, put my phone on the counter and didn't bring it to the gym. So I ended up having to raw dog a workout with no headphones, no music, couldn't scroll on my phone when I was, in between these massive sets, benching 315 each time. And it was just terrible. And I realized that I never want to work out again without headphones. It's headphones and music is, terrible. It was awful. So I almost considered driving home, but the setup of my life where it's like I kind of had to sneak out of the house in the morning, everybody's sleeping, and I try to sneak back in before. I was like, there's no chance I'm going back home and trying to sneak in, grab my headphones, and then sneak back out. I was like, or my phone. I was like, there's no way. So yeah, a pretty major L for me on this Mulligan Monday, just leaving my phone at home, which is pretty rare for me. Like if you know me, leaving my phone anywhere, which is also my wallet. So I couldn't order my usual Starbucks on the way home from the gym, just turned into a total disaster.
Yeah, your whole wallet, phone in one setup is it's great until you lose one and then you lose both. Like that's just double bad right there. My Mulligan Monday, just one of them that popped to the top of my head was, so Michael Brennan and Johnny Kiefer started out their tournament pretty hot this week, my top betting pick. And Monday Q Info, kind of sarcastically, but partially like being real, tweets, how many are Michael Brennan and Johnny Kiefer going to win this week by? And he goes, more than 5, less than 5. And I tweet out more than 5 with a handshake. Like, I really thought that I was like, this is the fucking week. Of course, we don't have a one and done pick this week. So the time I pick a winner, it just, but whatever, at least I'm going to pick a winner. And this is just me counting my chickens on a Thursday evening because they proceed to go fire 3 over par in the alternate shot the next day and miss the cut by 1. So they went from being in the top 5 on Thursday to missing the fucking cut. And I didn't even think about it. Like Friday night, I was like, oh, do you ever get excited to like check golf scores if you haven't really watched much golf that day?
Yeah. Oh, every week. Yeah. That's
and you're like, where are my guys at?
Yeah.
You're like, where are my fucking guys at? Oh, they missed the cut. And they were 2 behind the lead going into Friday. Like I need to get hot right now. It's signature season.
It's Barry's turn.
Yes, it's Barry's turn to get hot. He can be like my cat that I just take and I just pet right here while he's I'll whisper sweet nothings into his ear right now. Because Barry, I need to dig myself out of this hole. Now I'm the only one that looks like a complete dipshit on whenever we post our units, because you're like, what, exactly 0? And I'm like minus 30 something. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm gonna fucking have you stop posting them. You're gonna send them to me. I'll be like, delete, please delete. So I need to get hot, man. Something's got to change.
Well, it's time. And if you hit a major winner, all is forgiven, no matter what the odds are, right?
Yes, if I can pick a major champ, well, I mean, according to your predictions, we've either got Tommy or Bryson or 2 GP World Tour players, or who else did you have? Like, you think there were 12 majors? You think there were 12 majors for the amount of fucking people that you said were going to win a major?
Whatever team wins the President's Cup, I get all of those guys.
Oh, fuck. Last quick thing. Jim Furyk being named the Ryder Cup captain. Do you feel like it's like an overcorrection going from Keegan Bradley to just Jim Furyk is if a Buick LeSabre was a human being. He's just old, reliable. Nothing flashy.
I think they're just trying to go back to the winning ways, if you will.
The losing ways? Because Jim Furyk has only been a part of like losing teams, I'm pretty sure.
Well, if that's the case, then they're just trying to get some experience. I don't know. I don't, it's, to me, I'm so not thinking about the Ryder Cup that it's a President's Cup year, and I know the President's Cup isn't nearly as big of a deal, but like, I don't know.
We're on to the President's Cup.
I'm just like, it's just like in other sports, man. People just love to fucking hate on the coaches. These guys are professional golfers. They're fucking hitting the golf shots. There was a few Keegan Bradley questionable decisions and pairings and stuff like that. But for fuck's sake, like, you got these 12 guys, hit the fucking golf shots. Yeah. See, thank you, Greg. Ryder Cup captain is the most useless job in America.
Well, but okay. The one place I'll push back, the Ryder Cup captain gets to select who plays for them. Like,
yeah, that's
you take an NBA team. Yeah, they don't get to choose who's on their team. They can only coach them. This dude can literally pick who he wants to play for him. That kind of makes a fucking difference. Plus, I feel like Jim Furyk might be the worst like motivational speaker of all time. Could you imagine getting a pump up speech from a dude that looks like he just got off managing the Staples down the street? Like, he looks like the biggest fucking chud. And I love Jim Furyk, but he's just there's no swagger there. There's negative aura for Jim Furyk is how I'll put that. So I don't love our chances again next year. Shocker.
That's fair. All right. Well, Mitchell's down on the Ryder Cup team. That wraps it up for us this week on Big Drive Energy. We'll be back Wednesday at some point. We'll figure out our show time, put it out on our social medias. Follow us on all the social medias at Big Drive Energy Golf. Barry's going to be coming in hot with the picks. Big Drive Energy Golf on Instagram, Big Drive Energy on TikTok and Twitter. Hit us up to get those hats. We will get you guys some hats. We'll put that out on social media as well. We've only got 23 of them each, so they're selling like hotcakes. Already got 3 DMs while we were on the show. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. We will see you on Wednesday. Peace.